It's November the 10th, 2018. 36 degrees on a Saturday morning, about 9:30. I'm on the way to meet Jonathan Parker, who you can maybe see he's in front of me in a Jeep. On the way to meet him to try to find the remains of an old Indian war fort. It was probably built back in the 1820s, probably about the time McIntosh was murdered. So we're heading in the woods in just a minute. No, I'm not going to get corny. Go ahead.
All right, that's where we are.
Okay, how you know?
Because I've already scaled it all off. That's what these little lines are, right? All right, now, and the way we know that is these green lines are on, these are on a grid. That's 240 chains, that's 320 chains, that's 400 chains.
Okay. From
the corner, okay? So we got a grid that we're pulling off of. And you can see that line right there?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was telling you. You can see the land lot lines on these topo maps when you see this one north south. Okay, those are all land lot lines. You see them, they're all over here, right? And you can tell by the vegetation history and all that. And what we're doing is, here's the trail as it's surveyed, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's all scaled out. This is where it is. Now I don't know if you can see that little knob, that contour line.
I can.
All right, that white area is that what's on our left. That stand of pine trees right there. See how they're younger and skinnier?
Yeah, it looks like all this has been timbered. How long ago?
No, it hadn't been timbered. That's virgin timber.
You think it is?
Yeah. Look down here. In 1965, they did this map.
Okay.
So in 1965, that was open land. It was fields. I asked him about it, and he said that's where his wife had the garden when they just quit farming it, and it reseeded real quickly in pine trees, and so. The reason why that's important is it sets up a good conversation about, see, the forest can tell you the history of the property.
I agree.
Okay, so they quit farming it and immediately seeded in with pine trees, which is the early succession volunteer species. And if you look over there, there's no hardwoods in the understory, right?
Right.
All right, but there's starting to be a few of them. Those are your shade tolerant trees. They don't show up until the pine trees start to shade out the canopy. Now you see no pine seedlings down there, right? So your second forest is going to be hardwoods, not pine trees. They can't stand the shade. So the reason that's important is as we go back there, we're going to start to see some different kinds of trees than what's on this knob on this topographic map.
Who's that?
That's Miss Bitsy. she knows it all, but
she's co-pilot.
All right, now here's what happens when you look at these. See how the creeks go one way and then the other way, and it does it throughout. See
the ridge, yeah.
Yeah. See how this is what we got to find, the Grayson Trail. This is it, and you sent me a map by golf that shows it coming in right there, but you don't have the water in the estuaries to evidence it. But look, it came right up through here, right up through there, and tied in right there. And then see over here, McIntosh Reserve. Here's the road from Sandtown, McIntosh to Sandtown on the old surveys, but it doesn't show this area, but you can see the creeks are guiding it right through here. So I'm saying it came through here, hit this trail and continued on, but it may have come to right here and forked and came in and went like that too. So this one probably had a fork in it like that, but we don't know, right, until we look at that ridge and walk it out and walk that one out and see if we see evidence.
Okay.
But now what we're doing right here is we want to see, here's Wahoo Creek, right? And here's Noonan right in here. And one of two things happens. Either this old trail turned and went somewhere like this and threaded down, or it came, there's your Coweta Fort.
Okay.
On the north side of that little creek, okay? What we're theorizing is that it came close to there, then it turned and came skirted down here and may have come straight across like that. And we're going to pretend like we know that because, like, here's that hill we're standing next to where the pines are, that white area.
Right.
Okay. Here's your Coweta Fort. I'm theorizing with you that road somehow comes in here and follows this ridge down to that point, right almost to the creek, but then it turns and runs up this ridge. And see that shadow line? The green versus the white?
Yes.
And the green versus the white? Okay, I think it threaded through there. And the reason that green edge stops right there in 1965 is there's probably a step down in either the soil or it was rock exposed. They stopped tilling and cultivating that field right at that point for no reason. It's on the same elevation, but something stopped someone from tilling it with a metal tractor or disc, you know, so they couldn't turn the dirt when they hit that point. It could be a line of trees, it could be a sunk down ditch, but anyway, it happened here and it happened here. So I'm saying, I'm curious to see if it looks like there's any evidence of the road path going like this, coming down that ridge, crossing the creek on the south side, coming up this hill and running right through there as that tree line projects.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start here on this hilltop, and we're going to walk around this hilltop and see if we see anything leading to the northwest or the southwest, because right here Wahoo Creek starts, and once you get above it, see, like,
yeah, I see what you're talking about. But you know, if you go here to the old, what they call the old fort,
right,
Indian, probably 1820 fort.
Right.
There's a creek coming out of his lake.
Right.
It comes through here, but up here is the high ground.
Right.
That when we came in here before, we went in this way, but we had to cross the creek and go up that way. But so I mean, I don't know I don't think it would have turned that sharp and gone up here. I'm agreeing with you. There's probably doing something like that. So
yeah.
Okay.
And that would have been a way for them to build a fort and look down upon the old Indian trail from a, you know, I would assume a security point of view if it's a fort. And then, okay. So anyway, that's what we want to do is we want to look at this point and see a projection. Okay. So
okay, we ready to...
According to the topographic map, somewhere on this knob is coming from this direction. And I'll tell you what, let me get the topo map.
How close did you try to pull up a lat long, or do you just think it's right on top of this ridge?
I mean, how would I get a lat long?
You know, if I
would have scaled off the original land lot surveys to get to this point, and I would say within one or two chains of well, let's say 2 or 3 chains accurate. So,
right.
Okay, so
the reason I was asking that same, there's a company that produced a CD of land lots. It's based on that real estate program I was telling you about.
Okay.
And you could actually drag your cursor across that land lot line.
Does it show the trail on that?
No, but
okay.
you could, if you had your chains from the corner, you can measure on this program, and you can just run that your cursor up the land lot line, and it'll give you, as you move it, it'll give you a new land lat long.
I got you.
So if you can measure up there, then move up to that point, you got yourself a...
Do you have a lat long gizmo, your GPS gizmo?
With me, yeah.
I got one too, but I don't use it. I don't know how to use it. But all right, let's see. Right here on the brow of this hill. This is the trail, okay? It's off. So
okay.
This is the land lot line, right. North and south, and we're right here at this property line, okay? And according to this, the trail hits this knob slightly on the downhill side to the south, to our right. We're facing east. We're facing east, which is that way, and you see this top contour line, this kind of circle with a kick out on it, right? All right, and now it shows it slightly on the right-hand side, south side of the center of that as it approaches. So I'm gonna say somewhere right in there, right?
I agree.
Okay, so and what we want to do is, in this old field that they used to farm in their garden it's probably been tilled so much on top of the hill that if there was any evidence, it's well disguised. But I think if we get on the far side where you've got some older timber, it's not this old open area that shows up on this 1965 topo, but it's older timber with more history. We might be able to pick out.
Okay.
So that's,
Let me get my GPS to take with us, just in case we find something we can record it.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Of course, the batteries are probably dead.
All right, now I've got one too, and it's probably identical to yours. I'll throw it in my pocket.
Hey, guess what?
What?
It's in my other truck.
Hey, I think you told me you had a thing, and I've got that.
A Garmin.
So-and-so, right?
Yeah. Okay. And my phone, I got a lat long program on it too. If we need to, if we find something great, we can. Don't you laugh at my towel. That's my dog sits on that.
It's got new batteries in it, Eddie.
I brought new batteries, but I just didn't bring my GPS. Isn't that smart?
But I don't know how to use these things, and I could figure out the basics. You're a veteran. Put that somewhere.
All right. I'm gonna cut it on, okay?
Oh, yes, sir.
You do have batteries in it.
Yes, sir.
You sure?
And I've got new batteries. I've got new batteries here too, but I just replaced them. Grayson did for me.
Okay.
I got flagging if we need it.